Hi, this is Kristen here. Welcome to another process video. And today I am completing a layout for the Rainbow Crush YouTube and Instagram hop. And that's hosted by Tara from the Paper Snob. All the information is down below, so you can check out the others in the playlist. And so this month's challenge was to use red. And so you have to use, on your layout, 75% of your layout has to be red. And so I end up going through my scraps. I have so many scraps. And so I thought that this would be really good to just pull out a bunch of red scraps and get them used up. And so you just see me pulling in a bunch of different pieces that, some of them are from like Graphic 49, some of them are from, I don't know, like pieces that I've had in my stash for a very long time. Some like generic, some Bo Bunny. So I'm just pulling in the different pieces just to see kind of what works together. And I literally pulled out every single red scrap that I could find. Of course, some of them don't make the cut because they just don't make sense on it. And you see the like Lady of Liberty, is kind of what it reminds me of up there. I was going to initially do a 4th of July layout, but opted to do something a little bit different. So I had that pulled out and then ended up not using it. That was a Graphic 49, like an old collection from like probably at least 10 years ago. So I'm just cutting everything down into strips, kind of cutting them a little bit thinner. There's 2 longer pieces with the stripes on them. They'll end up getting cut down a little bit as well. And so I'm just trying to figure out what pieces look together, what works. I know sometimes it looks like I'm being so nitpicky about like, the papers that, but I feel like sometimes like just when your eye doesn't like it in person, just, go ahead and listen to your gut and your instinct. I feel like a lot of time, sometimes like things on camera don't look the same as in person. And there's definitely pieces that I look at on the camera. I'm like, oh, that would have worked okay there. But then in person, it just didn't suit my eye, I guess, at the time. So anyways. And when I was picking out these papers and kind of starting this layout, I honestly had no clue what I was going to document. Like I said, my initial thought was to do pictures of, kind of 4th of July or something. I pulled in that little heart strip because I felt like each set of color strips had some kind of like red with white. So I ended up pulling that in. And then I'm going to start getting everything adhered down. Those 2 strips that you see that are white that, have the little baseball, they look like baseballs. That was a couple of pieces of paper or ephemera pieces that I purchased from Joann's. So I think it was a Jolie's, and it was all baseball themed. So those were actually kind of almost like pleather and kind of thick on the thicker side, but there was like a really big piece of foam backing on it. So I ended up just ripping the foam off, and I decided that I was going to make a baseball layout. And since my little guy was dressed in red pants and had a little baseball bib on, I thought it would be perfect to do this layout using baseball theme. So most of these little ephemera pieces that you see me pulling in are from Simple Stories. And I don't know what the line was called. I think it was like just like page pieces that I purchased. I think I might have gotten them from Scrapbook Generation when they were having like a Simple Stories sale during International Scrapbooking Week. And my oldest son plays baseball, and I just didn't have like a lot of baseball themed ephemera. So I ended up grabbing that. And of course I won't end up using it. Well, some of the pieces I'll probably use on some of his layouts when I get to documenting his baseball. But a lot of it actually makes it onto this page. So these little pieces that you see me pulling in here are old clips that I had. They're red with like little stars and like in the middle of them. And so I was trying to do a little bit like stash busting too when I was making this layout. So, and that was a pack of clips that I bought a long time ago from a scrapbooking store, and it came with like red, I think yellow, maybe even blue and green little clips like that. So I like this MVP sticker. That was, I think, from like a baseball theme sticker set from Simple Stories. And again, I don't know what the line was called. I'll have to look it up if I can find it, and if it's available, I'll link it down below. And so I decided that I want this MVP to be my title, I feel like it looks good down here, but for some reason, I just didn't like it there, so I kept kind of moving things around, trying to figure out where exactly I wanted it. I mean, I think the baseball looked fine there, but for some reason, I wanted the baseball down there. I think it would look fine down there. For some reason, I wanted it centered on the page. Like, I kept going up to the top and the bottom, and then I kind of wanted it in the middle. So then I was like, well, maybe it'd be better if his pictures are in the middle of the page. And then I quickly decided, no, that doesn't look good. So I go back to my original layout. And usually anytime I do that, like, I'm like, oh, go away from my original idea. Like, I always go right back to it. Like, I don't know why even I should just like leave it alone, because it takes me that much longer to finish a layout, because I guess in my mind, I just want to make for sure that that's, how I like it. Rarely do I switch it around and think, yeah, I like the pictures better that way. But I think because there were kind of natural breaks in where the strips were on either side, I just felt like the pictures laid out this way made sense to me. So I decided I kind of like the MVP here in the middle. And then these little stars came in that Simple Pages or Page Pieces set. The checker paper in the background, I think that might have been from Echo Park, but I don't recall what line it was even from. I just found a red piece that I liked and gutted it and used it as a border. So I ended up putting his pictures up on foam just because of the strips of paper in the background. There was a little bit of layering there, just in that way the pictures wouldn't look lumpy and bumpy. And then I'm going to get the MVP put here in the middle. I do pop that up on foam. The baseball bat is up on foam as well. And I just kind of glue down the ends here, so in that way it doesn't get caught on anything when I put it in the page protector. And here I had popped the baseball bat up on foam. I'm just going to start working on this cluster up here. So I went pretty simple with embellishments on here. I didn't put too much on here. Just a lot of it too simply is I just did not have a lot of baseball ephemera. I've got some sticker sheets that have some, baseball ephemera on it, but a lot of it didn't really work with this layout since it wasn't really like, he wasn't really playing baseball. A lot of it was kind of baseball terms. I end up adding the All-Star little label up there, as well as the little banner that says J, and then I also ended up putting another little sticker down the bottom that says swing for the fences, and both of those were from that sticker sheet. I did end up adding up and a couple more of those little red clips, trying to use those up, so you see one there and one down at the bottom of the picture. And here are some close-ups. I really liked how this turned out. I thought it turned out really cute. So thank you, Tara, for hosting this hop. And I appreciate you coming by to watch another process video.